Hey, and welcome back to another video. Is Your Lifestyle is Kay, your secure woman mentor. And today I want to talk about building self-worth and trusting yourself again. Leaving a toxic relationship is just the beginning. The real challenge is healing, learning to trust yourself again, and breaking the cycle for good. If you're struggling with self-doubt, guilt, or just feeling like you're not enough after a toxic relationship, just know that you're not alone and you can heal. Let's dive in.
Day in, day out, pleading strangers for help. Don't dwell upon this thought right now.
Healing can be a very tough process, but I want to give you a few tips on why it feels the way that it does. I always tell everyone healing is a journey and healing is not easy. When you've gone through a traumatic or toxic situation, it rewires your brain. It has made you doubt yourself, attach your worth to others, and normalize chaos. And if you're here watching this video right now, you don't want to live in chaos. You want to live in peace. And trust me, not everyone is on this journey. Some people will forever remain in chaos because they can't process the need to heal. Now, let's go over a few common struggles you have after leaving. You feel lost or empty without them because let's face it, you have been with them for however long. And sometimes it's not long at all. It's just so much of what you experience. It's like a whirlwind. And to go back to that empty feeling, it's a struggle. And then you start to struggle with self blaming, right? Well, was it me? What could I have done differently? I want them back so I can do it better the next time. Like there is a lot of blaming of self. And then when you do have the opportunity to bring in or trust other people, that becomes a difficult process because you've just experienced a very toxic situation. You're just not going to easily trust someone like you did before because what your brain is doing is trying to avoid you getting hurt again. Just always keep in mind that healing isn't about you getting over it. This is not a fast track to getting over what you've experienced. It's about unlearning the patterns that kept you in that toxic cycle. In a previous video, we talked about patterns, not only for the person that's doing the manipulation, but for you or for the one who's accepting the toxic behavior. Knowingly or unknowingly, there's still some type of pattern that needs to be addressed. And as you go through this healing process, this healing journey, you'll learn what it takes to rebuild your self worth after a damaging relationship. And so there are steps that you will need to take in order to see your progress. And the reason why we have steps is because a lot of times we might have to go back to step 3 or step 1, right? So, step 1 is reprogram your self talk. I know most of you guys have probably heard of affirmations and positive self talk. It's going to take you learning to speak to yourself different in order to rebuild and reprogram your mind. Your mental space has been flooded with toxicity, right? As I stated before, when you go through something traumatic, it changes your brain chemistry a lot. So now you have to take extra steps to reprogram yourself, rebuild yourself. And so below, I'm going to put just some self talking tips under step 1 that you can utilize for yourself. So in the comment section or in my description box, you'll see step 1, positive self talk, and then there will be a list there for you to take or to use. Step 2 is to reconnect with yourself. Now you have to get to know yourself again because the reality is that toxic dynamics, it disconnects you from your own wants, needs, and desires. So now you have to learn you pretty much all over again. But the great part about this is that now you can recreate yourself into a bigger, stronger person, into the person that you've always wanted to become. I always tell people, and I've told myself this as well, I don't want to go back to who I was. I want to come back, or I want to rebuild myself into someone new, better, the 2.0 me. And as you start to rebuild yourself, ask yourself a few questions. What is it that you like to do? What is it that you want to start doing? And a major question is to ask yourself, who are you when you're not trying to um, please other people, when you become the center of attention within your own life? And just a few things to explore. We always want to journal. That's number one. Pick up a few hobbies, take yourself on self dates. Self dating is one of the best things you could ever do for yourself. As much as it might seem kind of embarrassing or you might feel a ways about it, don't. Because when you can show yourself a good time, when you can show up for yourself, anyone trying to come into your life, giving you less than what you will give yourself, you won't give them the time of day. This is teaching you how you want to be treated because you're treating yourself at the highest regard. And as you are teaching yourself how to treat you, you're building that intuition, you're building that trust. Because when we've gone through something and we can blame ourselves, we can keep ourselves back because we're like, I don't trust my decision making. I'm not listening to myself like I need to. So, this whole process is for you to get back to you, get back to the core of who you know yourself to be, and creating that 2.0 you, a better you. So, when the old person attempts to come back, they can say, oh, I don't like this new you. Good. You're not supposed to like her. I do, right? You don't want old toxic people to still be attracted to you in that way. And even if they are, you want to see yourself as a person who wouldn't even accept them back, who wouldn't even want them back if they came on bending knee, apologizing with tears in their eyes. No, no, thank you. And so as you're learning to trust yourself again, it's also allowing you to rebuild your intuition. Toxic situations and toxic people make you doubt your gut feeling, make you feel like what you're feeling isn't true or real. So, healing is about reclaiming that inner power, that you have within you that never goes away. Sometimes we can shut it off, and now we're doing the work to turn it back on. And the best way to exercise this is to reflect on a moment when you thought something was off, right? And sometimes you can tell yourself, I knew something was off about that. That's how you begin to trust your inner knowing. The feeling you get when you felt that something was off, that feeling's always going to show up when something is off. So as you're getting to know who you are, you trust that feeling that you feel, and you remember that, oh, okay, myself is talking to me because something isn't right here. So you want to begin to listen to that more and more, and don't doubt it, because it can seem like a perfectly good situation and you might ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Don't wait for a response from yourself. You've already got the response. It's really not the why. You'll probably find out much later, but you don't want to find out while you're dealing with them, right? You don't want to find out because you ignored the feeling. You want to find out because you took heed to the situation and to what you were feeling, and then later on you heard. If you catch my drift. And also, if it's not necessarily a situation, trust your intuition in the small things. What to wear, what to eat, how to wear your hair, what colors to wear. Those small things, if you're listening to yourself with those things, it moves into other decisions as well. So that's another way of building that intuition. Another way to lead in your healing in a positive direction is to reframe the way that you look at relationships going forward. Make them a positive situation. Instead of focusing on red flags or looking for red flags, focus on the green flags. What is it that you liked about them? You'll get more of what you like within a person from other people. You'll attract more of that goodness to you. Work on respectful communication. If you know that you're being calm, cool, and collected, keep that same energy. If someone isn't able to reciprocate that, then they're not for you, right? If someone is, green flag, okay, we can communicate well. We don't have to argue. We don't have to be um, petty or anything like that. You are communicating respectfully, even if a person is rude. You give yourself the respect, not necessarily them. This is about you. And the reason why you're going through this process and shifting your thought process is because you don't want to have to settle for less, because you don't have to settle for less just because something is familiar. So we want to shift what's familiar to us. Doesn't mean that we ignore the red flags. It's just that when you're reprogramming yourself, that positive aspect as opposed to the negative is going to bring you more positivity. And so I want you to keep a few things in mind. You're not broken. And healing is not about becoming who you used to be. It's about creating a version of you that is wiser, that's stronger, and that's self aware, and that's deeply self loving, right? That's what you are now walking as. You're becoming the version of yourself that you always knew existed deep within. This is just you pushing yourself to become that. So, in the comments below, what I want you to do is comment a quick version of what was the hardest part of your healing journey. And if you're still on that journey, because it's a journey, we're constantly healing, or if you're afraid to start, what are you afraid of when it comes to this healing journey? This is about you accepting that you deserve greatness and you do not have to settle. No one has to settle. And just because you've been through a situation does not mean that that's how every situation moving forward is going to be. It doesn't have to be. You deserve better because you are better. I'll see you in the next video.